Hey, good morning for the Dow Directions. Let's take a look at a weekly chart. You can see these are the 1997 lows which we tested, and this trend line goes back to bring it back for you, 1997 lows. And from that date, you can see I put in the 50 period moving average, which is red, and the 200-day moving average, which is the dark green. So you can see we have a lot of work to do to get back to the averages themselves. But this gives you an idea of what's been happening on a weekly basis. And you can see we've in a pretty good downslope. We're starting to put in a consolidation type movement here, the ups, the downs. So we should be working our way in this area on a weekly basis. Doing my chart checkup on the Tushar Chande chart checkup, what we're looking, obviously we can see the price bias is downward. Prices are trending down. The chart is showing that we're having extraordinary price action to the downside, which we've had. I mean, this is kind of unprecedented. And that the prices are vulnerable to a correction towards 11,000. So, we are looking to the possibly at least to the 200-day moving average to 10,000. It's vulnerable to snap back to that area and have corrections. Remember, in a bear market, we still have fake bull market breakouts, and then we can go back down and test. So just be conscious of that. We could see some sharp movement to the 10,000 level. The projected upper bound in this checkup is 98.83. The lower bound is 71.95. And actually the projected closing price that we're looking at was 85.39, and you can see we closed at 86.35. So right in the range doing our checkup. Let me pull out my trend line analysis. Let's do longer term. If I do a trend line analysis for the longer term, we broke the upper trend line at 85.41, and that was a bearish sign. But currently, since we're above, and we just basically did that on on the last week basis, the trend line from the bottom has an ending point of 10,395, and that should provide the upside resistance. Volume on the breakout on the downside was quite heavy, 90% above average, so let's watch for significant volume to the upside if we're going to stay in those areas. Okay, let me get this back down, give you a better perspective. You can see it's kind of useless really to put a trend line in, from any point here. I mean, it is so steep. But if we do one, let's put one in, and this is where we can look and project a little bit. Let's put one in right there. And then let's put another one in. Okay, there would be two trend lines we could look at. So on a weekly basis, this is the most recent trend line, recent in history, going back to May. So let's watch this trend line. I'll save this chart. We'll take a look, and we'll see where prices are falling in. But on those checkups I just mentioned, you can see it's around the 10,000 level, 10,005, 10,000 level that we're looking. If we can break this trend line and stay above it, that would bode well for a short-term bottom, and we'd note that a short-term bottom had been put in, and we should be to the high side. Well, that's our checkup for a weekly chart. I'll see you a little bit later today when we'll do our E-mini checkup. And please join us in the room for day trading if you'd like. Check out the website, www.teachtalktrade.com, for the services. And thank you for joining me this morning. Hope you had a wonderful weekend, and I will see you a little bit later today.